Hi, this is Shelly from Beauty to Pure.
And my name's Haley, and we're going to show you a step-by-step tutorial on how to use our Acrygel.
There are multiple ways to using Acrygel, but my preferred method for beginners is to use it on tips. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Before we dive into the tutorial, let me explain a little bit of what Acrygel really is. Acrygel is a hybrid between acrylic and hard gel. So think about it, acrylic and hard gel made a baby. This is milky white. Look at what a beautiful color. And when you squeeze it out, you see that it's not as sticky as other Acrygels you see on the market. That tells you it has more of an acrylic substance than gel. But when you squeeze it out, you see it's nice and matte. And once it starts setting, it creates a shiny surface. This is absolutely perfect. Also, it has no odor, so that's amazing.
And it's not moving at all.
Nope. You're going to grab your Acrygel. You're going to place it and look, no movement. It's perfect for beginners. You can drag it, slide it, put it wherever you want, and look at that perfect bead.
And it doesn't move until you move it.
Exactly. Yeah. Until you move it, it's not moving. And if there's any excess product, you can just squeeze it back into the container.
It looks real easy to use for beginners.
Extremely. This I always would recommend for a beginner. And tell me that when she starts using this, she's not going to want to change.
Or those nail DIYers who want to do their nails at home.
Absolutely. Even the ones that are in salon suites, no odor. It's absolutely perfect. It gives you enough strength, but durability at the same time. So it's like, what else can we add for it? I am going to start with choosing the tip that I want to use. I want to use a coffin tip because I want to create an almond shape like nail. So that's the perfect tip for you. Don't forget. And now I'm going to go ahead and start prepping the nail. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cleanse the surface with some alcohol. I always make sure I put it in my lint-free wipe to a TP shape just to make sure I'm not excessively dehydrating the skin, just the surface. Go in with a 180 grit file.
You don't want to use any other grits?
No. On natural nails, you only would be able to use 240, 180. This is natural nails. We're just going to remove the shine from the nail. Gently, gently, gently. You could even do it with a buffer. As long as you mat it out.
Remove the shine. That's all that matters.
Remove the shine. Always remove the shine. And honestly, your cuticles are not that bad here.
Well, thank you.
You could do this step first. You can do it after. It really depends on how you like to do things. Just make sure you polish this off. And you see it's nice and matte. There's nothing there. You can go in with your flame bit. Although there's not much that I need to remove because your cuticles are not bad. I'm going to go into a forward motion.
I would like to thank the cuticle oil for that.
Right. Okay.
And what RPM?
I have it right now in 9. And I'm gently just doing forward side.
I can't even feel it.
As you shouldn't.
I think people get real afraid when they see the cuticle bits come out, but they're very gentle.
No, they're super gentle. I feel like as long as you know what you're doing, you'll never have a problem. Education is key, right? That's why we're doing these videos.
Hey.
Okay, so now I switched into my reverse motion and I am gently just passing through with my flame bit, polishing the skin at the same time. Nice and gentle. I'm not going to cut anything off, Haley, because at this point we will be using the file or the e-file again in the service, and I want to make sure I don't cut your skin at all. Always do that at the end. Okay, perfect. Now we're good. We can go ahead with my dehydrator and bonder.
And what's the point of dehydrator and primer?
You must use these 2 agents. Dehydrator will take out the debris and level out the pH balance of your nail.
I had no idea my nail had a pH balance.
Absolutely. Yes, it does. So make sure you just apply tiny bit of product. There's no need to drench it whatsoever. And again, you see it evaporated. Now you know you're ready for your next one, which is a super bond. And again, cleanse the brush from the side of the jar.
And what's the point of super bond?
It's your bonding agent. That will make the product stick. If you don't use Super Bond, you'll have more proning nails to be lifting.
So prep is key.
Prep is key. Prep is key to every single nail service you do. Also, again, you saw how I just prepped the nail and I applied just a tiny bit of product. If you apply too much product, it's going to cause lifting. It's going to cause the opposite way of it actually bonding.
It's going to do the exact opposite of what you want it to do.
Exactly. So now let's choose the tip. Let's see what size fits you better. When choosing a nail tip, you have to make sure from side to side it covers. I'd rather you have a piece of nail poking out on the sides that you could actually just use your file and go in, than have the tip exact or smaller. So always size up if you feel unsure about it.
Right, because you can always file it back.
Yes. So I am going to pick this size. I feel like that's the perfect size. I could also alterate it slightly.
So you're customizing the tip just for my nail.
Just for your nail. Okay, let me measure it to make sure it's perfect. Yes, it is absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to grab our brush on nail glue, which I absolutely love this feature because you have the perfect amount on the brush and you could just place it on the well of the tip. I feel like when you squeeze out a container, sometimes it'll squeeze out too much product.
It just gets so messy
Yeah.
every time.
I love having the product control.
And then I end up gluing my nails together, gluing my fingers
Oh
together.
no, I remember back in the day I would glue my fingers together all the time,
Yep.
especially as a beginner. So I love this feature as for beginner nail techs because I remember how I glued it all over my fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. That is perfect.
So just a tiny bit of
Just a tiny bit. I'm going to place it at a 45-degree angle and stick it right on and hold on to it at least for 5 seconds and it should do its job. Okay, perfect. There you go. Now, you have a convex nail. I feel the need to apply a tiny bit of glue underneath her nail. So we're going to rotate your finger. So I'm going to make sure I add a little bit of glue there just to secure the adhesion. That's perfect. And let's give it those 5 seconds for it to dry out. Now I am going to go ahead and cut the size. We're going to keep it natural here, so not too long, but still enough space to shape it. And now I'm going to grab my clippers and slightly clip on the sides, almost a 45-degree angle. If you notice, I did not clip all the way through because I need some space here to file. And I'm going to go ahead with my 180 grit file and go right onto the sides and meet at the center to create that perfect round almond shape. And here I'm going to go just straight, 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 straight. There's no need to angle. If not, you're going to lose the shape. So you go nice and straight. And again, on the side, same way, push the skin back and nice and straight. Make sure you're always pushing that skin back. If not, you're going to slice her finger. Also, make sure you season your files. And when I mean season your files, do you know what that is?
Put some garlic salt on it.
We got to put some garlic salt. So season your files. Always take out those nice edges. Because if not, we don't want to see all this blood coming here through.
Because the files come sharp.
Very sharp. They're brand new. Okay, perfect. Now, one of the things that we need to make sure is that in the opposite of acrylic, sometimes you just leave the nail like this and you pop the acrylic on. No, you need to make sure you remove the shine from the tip itself. Now we've already prepped here, so there's no need for you to file too much on the natural nail. Just make sure these meeting points are perfect and we don't have any edges. And there we have it. It's perfectly removed all the shine. And now we are ready to apply our base coat, which is our 1-step. So if you feel unsure because you've been touching it right now, you can actually go ahead and go back into dehydrating or putting your Super Bond if you feel unsure that you've touched it. I use gloves all the time, especially for every type of gels, just because I know if I touch it, I'm safe.
Right. Not transferring the oils on your
Correct.
hands to the nail.
Correct. Again, we've said many times, prepping is key. So we need to make sure we're doing all the steps correctly because any little mistake can cause lifting. Okay, let's grab from the side of the jar. And again, I'm going to go in and secure my perimeter area and gently glide through all the way to the end of the tip. I'm putting my base all the way through.
So you don't want to skip one-step gel.
Not at all. Now, what would happen if you skip it or if you don't go all the way through on top of the tip? You might experience some lifting, and we don't want to get in lifting here. This is a tiny, tiny layer, very thin. Just make sure you secure everything. We're going to cure this for 60 seconds, Haley. In a salon service, you can actually cure it for 30. We're doing it here for 60, just making sure. Okay. Now I'm going to pour in my slip solution to use my Acrygel.
And what is slip solution?
Slip solution is the liquid that will actually make your brush not stick to the product and move it around. If you don't use slip solution, it's going to be a hot mess. It's just going to stick everywhere. Then we'll be like all flustered and frustrated, and we don't want that. We don't want frustration.
Super messy.
Absolutely. Another thing that I like about our slip solution is that it actually moisturizes the brush, and it will prevent it from fanning out or like being puffy. Yeah. So again, also we have to make sure we just dip in the brush here on the side of the container. We don't need that much slip solution to create our structures or when we're using this product. If you use too much slip solution, you'll break down the product itself.
Gotcha.
So you're gonna see that cloudiness of film that's gonna pop out of the Acrygel, and that tells you right away, okay, oh, hold on, I'm using too much product.
Right.
So basically, just put your brush right on the side, wipe it, and then remove the excess on a lint-free wipe, and you just go in.
So
That's
no
it.
soaking wet brush.
No, not at all. I go crazy when I see everyone just, no. We can't do that. We can't be doing that here. And your slip solution will last forever if you use it properly.
Yeah, because you barely used any.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and use the milky white. As we said before, this is such a pretty color. Absolutely will be a favorite. Now I'm going to create this in 2 beads because the nail is not as long. We have some natural length here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place it at the center of my nail.
It's a very interesting texture.
Yes. And you see, Haley, it's not moving whatsoever. And now we're going to go into moving our Acrygel. And again, as I showed you before with the brush. Now I want to make sure I have 2 beads that connect to each other. So I'm fading this in near the cuticle area. Basically just fade, 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 fade. Secure that perimeter.
And a very light tap.
Very light tapping. And then you're going to grab as soon as you go from side to side and you make sure you have enough product there. If you feel that you need to reload your brush with slip solution, go ahead. As soon as you start feeling it sticking, you need to reload your brush. And then slightly gently just pull the product towards the tip.
So is it drying right now?
It's not drying. It will dry inside the gel lamp.
Okay, so you have to cure it.
So you have to cure it. This is the beauty of this. Acrylic tends to dry while you're working.
Right.
This gives you the flexibility that you can just keep on working with it as long as you can. And then once you feel like, okay, this is perfect, now just cure it with the versatility of gel.
So you have a little playtime.
You do. You have a lot of playtime, actually. And then you go in wherever you feel like you need to place the product, tap, or slide it. And that is my first bead. We're going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. Always make sure you cure Acrygel for 60 seconds. You don't want to get that jelly donut effect. You want to make sure everything is perfectly cured. Now I'm going to go ahead with my second bead to finish off the nail. I'm going to grab product. Place it now a little further up closer to the cuticle area. And the same thing we did before. I will grab my Acrygel brush with slip solution, secure the perimeter, get it as close as possible to the cuticle area. With the tip of your brush, you're going to push it towards the cuticle area. Always remember to push back the skin. That way you can get underneath the proximal nail fold. Now, if you touch anything, you know that you will get lifting. So make sure you just don't touch the skin. If you feel unsure, I'd rather you leave it further down instead of having lifting.
So you prefer to use 2 beads?
For this length, yes. For length probably that it's shorter, I can use up to 1 bead. And then if it's longer, you may use like multiple beads, 3, 4, 5. It depends. It all depends on the length. Now I'm just dragging it towards the tip and making sure I blend it in. That's one of the things you guys will start noticing once you start doing ombres with Acrygel. You're going to fall in love because they blend perfect.
Very seamless transition.
Very seamless. Now this is perfect. I can go ahead and cure it for 60 seconds inside the gel lamp and go ahead to filing and top coating. Before you file, you need to make sure you remove the tacky layer. And I'm going to go ahead with a little bit of alcohol, remove the tacky layer from the surface. If we don't remove the tacky layer, it's going to cause your file to get cluttered with product and you won't be able to file correctly.
And what grit file do you recommend?
I recommend always a 180 or a 150 if you're debulking. This is very similar to gel, obviously, because it does have a gel substance. So it will remove right away depending on pressures. That's why I always recommend.
So it's much easier to file.
Yes, absolutely. 100% much easier to file. If you're used to using acrylic, you have to step it down a notch with your pressure.
Right. You don't need a 100 grit
No,
file.
no, 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 no. Not at all. Not at all. And lightly just tweak it. Make sure it's nice and straight. I feel pretty confident. This is looking really good. Now I would go ahead with a buffer and I'm going to go ahead with my 180 to 140 buffer. And you can also actually file with the buffer gently. It'll remove enough product. And also it'll keep the shape looking pretty nice.
So pretty minimal filing.
Yeah. As long as you get this product laid down so perfect and it's going to help you because of the viscosity, the consistency that it has.
And you have so much time to work with it.
You do. So it's actually pretty perfect looking. And now I am going to cleanse it, apply my top coat, then my cuticle oil, and we're good to go. Now I'm going to make sure I cleanse the surface, remove any debris that's on it.
Very important.
Extremely important. You don't want to encapsulate that.
Or get it into your top coat.
I know. We mess up our top coat so much just by doing that. Again, grabbing some top coat, making sure you cleanse the brush because it's a brand new brush. Get it close to the cuticle area, secure your perimeter, fan out your brush to the sides. Now I'm going to go in with my cuticle oil just to gently moisturize and have that looking perfect. Let's go ahead and grab a tiny bit of cuticle oil.
Go ahead and rehydrate.
Rehydrate all the time. That's a must. And now I'm gently rubbing it in without touching the surface of the nail. I don't want it to dull out because we just took it out of the gel lamp.
And I love the smell of this cuticle oil.
It's so good. And there you have it. It's all done. So Haley, tell me, how did you feel about this one?
I thought this was super easy for beginners to get started with. Using it on nail tips is the way to go.
For sure. This is one of my preferred methods. So make sure if you have any questions, you comment below, like, and subscribe to our page.